PTI instructor 12 months ago.
Everybody starts. Adam was a PTI before he's worked with me. You start somewhere.
I know the kid. You can't expect a boy to do a man's job. He done a great job, but he was only a companion for Tyson. Tyson did all that himself with the help of a little bit of companionship and telling him, somebody doing that, go on, you can do another mile, Tyson. Don't eat this, don't eat that.
That's the difference between winning and losing.
But when it comes to using them, technique and knowledge, I've seen a lot of flaws.
So do you think Sugar Hill is better than Ben in
more experience, 100%. Ben was that clever. Why did he allow him to go and box John Wilder? When I said no.
Because he was good enough to win the fight.
But
clearly.
He wasn't.
He did. He won the fight in your eyes. He won the fight.
But at the end
This is a segment of the debate. And the debate was, you had John Rawlings, Steve Bunce, Paula Malignaggi, John Phiri, and David Haye. And they were given their counterpunch, their prediction on the fight. Who would win, why they would win, who won the first fight, the reflection from the first fight that could possibly happen in the second fight. And we have a lot to cover because we have a lot of different opinions. We have 5 different guys that I just mentioned, and all of them pretty much had different things and different reasons why. So let's go through them, and here we go. Let's start with David Haye. David Haye, of course, we know backstory on David Haye. He used to spar with Deontay Wilder, okay? And even though I believe Deontay Wilder was closer to being a cruiserweight at the time, he still had phenomenal punching power, tremendous punching power, claimed David Haye, because he'd been in the ring with him, sparring with him. And David Haye admitted that he had to, crank it up a notch as though he was in a real fight to avoid those big shots because he didn't want to get hit with those big shots any longer, right? Okay. David Haye started with, he didn't think Wilder even had a game plan the first fight. He didn't respect him. He didn't believe that Tyson Fury could do what he could do. And he had no respect for him whatsoever. Now, I would believe that. I do believe that. Because I think the only thing that they respected of Tyson Fury, besides him being a payaso or a clown, was the fact that he was undefeated. He beat a fighter in Klitschko that the team of Wilder didn't want Wilder to go near at a certain point of time, including the time that Vladimir was fighting, mind you. And he looked good for the resume. That's the only thing I think they respected. And the reason for that is the obvious. Tyson Fury was not in the ring for a very long time. And then when he finally came back to the ring, it was damn near 3 years. And in those 3 years, the things that he did to his body, the abuse, the physical, the mental abuse that he was already going through, mixed with the chemical abuse. If you're doing cocaine and you're drinking alcohol and I don't know what else he was doing, that takes a toll on your body. Okay, that affects your heart, that affects all types of things, your reflexes or whatever, normally. So in comparison to what John Fury said, John Fury had a lot to say. Of course, this is the father of Tyson Fury, so you would automatically think, okay, well, he's biased, that's his dad sticking up for his son, but you cannot argue with what he was saying, okay? The things he was saying is, they thought, just like David Haye said he had no game plan, what David Haye didn't, what he left out, let's put it that way. What David Haye left out was that John Fury didn't. He was like they cherry-picked Tyson Fury, okay? They thought that he was ripe for the picking. They thought it was going to be an easy fight. They didn't respect it, and they thought that was going to be a fight that he was going to easily win, okay? And back to David Haye. David Haye just thought that all Deontay Wilder had to do is to catch him on the chin and to hit him on the chin. And, respectfully, that almost happened. But that's all of Deontay Wilder's fights anyway. The game doesn't change. He doesn't get any better. Okay, he doesn't really box you well. And like David Haye went to say, and this was very, very informative. David Haye said Wilder doesn't show his boxing ability. He just shows his power. So a lot of times, like Deontay Wilder has admitted, that when you have power, you don't need skill. So skill is a part of boxing ability. You know, your skill would be boxing ability. What skills do you have? I have the ability to box. Well, if David Haye is saying that Deontay Wilder has boxing ability, that's a new one to me based on what we see. But Paula Malignaggi, of course, counterpunched on that. And he was like, he thinks people really give Wilder a bad reputation for being wild, but he's only wild when he gets you hurt. Like I was telling people, he's not a guy that goes out there swinging all wild like a Tasmanian devil. He doesn't do that. He's pretty calm because he's looking for certain shots. Because like I counterpunched, Deontay Wilder is looking for that perfect punch. He's a one-take Jake kind of guy. If you're in film, like Deontay knows what that means. He's a one-take Jake mentality-minded fighter. When he sees that opening, like he did with Spilka, when Spilka was coming in with that left hook, he's seen it. Lights out. Spilka was on the stretcher. And I think because of knockouts like that, Deontay Wilder has developed this mindset that it's a perfect punch in each and every angle and scenario. And that particular fight proved it. It convinced Deontay, you know what? I can hit a motherfucker with this one punch and knock him out. And because he knew that, I think David Haye was on to something. The ability that he learns or learned, he doesn't follow or use as much because he doesn't believe in like he believes in his power. That's my counterpunch on that. John Phiri goes to say that Wilder came in at 16 stones. That's not good for Wilder. The best we've seen Wilder was in the Ortiz 2 rematch. And that, him looking for that one punch, just like I mentioned with him with the Spilka and all the other fights that he looks for that one shot to change everything. He says that won't work on Tyson. He's not as he's not as light. A 15 stone Wilder is a lot dangerous because he punches like he's 20 stone, said John Phiri. Okay, so he really counterpunched Paula Malignaggi, saying, well, he doesn't swing wild until he gets someone hurt. But John Phiri was like, or get into shock or panicking. Paula Malignaggi said panicking. John Phiri said shock. And then he mentioned the only reason that he started getting wild the way he was getting wild was because he was panicking. He was in shock because he didn't expect Phiri to fight like Phiri was fighting. They thought Phiri was ready to go 4 or 5 rounds. It was really a joke. You looked at all the old fat pictures of Tyson Fury, and that was actually the first of the upsets of the people that didn't supposed to make it to where they are. Think about it. Andy Ruiz. Why? Because of the way he looked, his condition. He could never beat Joshua. Fouled. Tyson Fury, almost 400 pounds at one point. Lost a lot of weight, looking like a wet rag around the stomach and tits. Right? I think he had titties. Okay. He didn't supposed to last 4 or 5 rounds. I got that one wrong too. I counterpunched my damn self. Okay, so yeah, he didn't supposed to be where he was, but he did it anyway. And by a lot of people's eyes, he won. They called it a draw, but here's the deal. A lot of times they call a draw because the right person didn't do what he's supposed to do. And the right person was Deontay Wilder. Why? Because he was our black American champion, and it's some politics over on this side of the pond that we do not want that American belt to go somewhere else. Because we've seen how that went with the Klitschko's, and it absolutely sucked. Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko fucked it up for a very long time. They called it the Dark Ages. Right? It was dark, they claim. I don't even call it the Dark Ages no more. I call it the age of the Klitschko's. The Klitschko's did what they did because nobody could stop them to do it. When Lennox Lewis got out the game, big up England, they were gone. They took it over. right? Lennox Lewis did not rematch Vitalik. He got his ass out of Dodge. He was smart enough and knew, I ain't fucking with that motherfucker again. He did it. Or should I say he didn't. So he left the sport. Now, go on to Steve Bunce. Steve Bunce, quoted how much impact this fight will have, to the UK fans and American fans on the fact that two undefeated fighters, it's never been like this in the history of the sport. Somebody has been beat. Even Ali at the time he fought George Foreman, when George Foreman was 40-0 with 35 KOs, no losses, no draws. And Muhammad Ali had that one loss on his record and coming to Frazier. And who knocked out Frazier? George Foreman. And then when Ali came to fight George Foreman in Zaire, right, he beat George Foreman, even though that's not like this, because these guys to this day are still undefeated, unlike Ali, because Ali had already been beat. Okay? So there is no other fight like this. This is what that is what Steve Bunce was saying. He was making that clear. Okay. Paula Malignaggi, he says that a lot of Americans have gravitated towards Deontay Wilder, and this is very important because they have, and a lot of people have gravitated towards Wilder because of his niche. What is his niche? His niche is his punching power. The way he hits guys, the way guys fall and get knocked out and it goes viral because, people love to see a knockout in the sport of boxing. Deontay's right about that. You do go to a fight to see knockouts. You do. That's the ultimate, that's the best thing, the most definite thing that can happen in the ring is someone gets knocked out. That's what Deontay Wilder has ever done. He's done that all through his career. Okay? Now, the thing is, Deontay Wilder, he has this niche, this spectacle around him. Like, man, he's the hardest puncher and he's undefeated. A lot of casual fans gravitate towards that particular fact. But they don't understand the people that he's knocked out has been lower opposition. And when he fought Tyson Fury last time, now this is Paulie's, okay? Paulie says that Tyson Fury frustrated Wilder in that fight. He didn't know how to handle that type of a talk, okay? He didn't know how to handle Tyson Fury's trash talk. Tyson Fury got in his mind, and Deontay Wilder was not able to adjust the punches that he was throwing. He was missing, and then that's what really made it bad, worse than anything else. And of course, David Haye also stated Tyson Fury's trainer. He would have felt more comfortable with Ben Davison in there. Okay? He'd have felt more comfortable with Ben Davison in there because Ben Davison been through a lot of things. He's been through him before the come up. When he was down at the bottom, he was there. He knew Tyson Fury. He knew the things that he did. Actually, Ben Davison just actually let some stuff out of the bag that he knew the flaw that Tyson Fury had. If you guys seen that video that I counterpunched, I already counterpunched that. I might leave it below in the link, like I will leave it below on this. David Haye says that Wilder is going to adjust this fight. He's going to take his time. He's going to be calm on this particular fight, and he hopefully will be able to show his boxing ability. Okay. Now I'm going to stop there because honestly I'm running out of video. So this is the first volume of this debate. Okay. So I will continue with another volume. You guys tell me what you think of this particular volume debate of this video thus far. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunching. Peace.